Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this 3D beaded snowdrop flower. So these are the kind of flowers that started popping up around where I live right now. So to make one of these you're going to need some size 11 seed beads in green and white. You'll also need a beading needle and thread. I'm using a size 12 beading needle and I'm using 60 centimetres of £6 fireline in crystal. You could also use fireline for this. Those two threads are going to work the best just because they kind of hold this curved shape that you need for the petals. And then you'll need a jump ring or split ring or earring hook, whatever you want to attach it to at the top. That's everything, so let's get started. So you're going to thread your needle onto your thread and then pick up 3 of your white seed beads and slide those down until they're 4 or 5 inches from the end, and then sew up through the first bead to bring those together into this little triangle. Then you're going to pick up 1. Coming out of this one, you're going to go straight through the next one. So that bead pops into place. Picking up 1, coming out of this one, straight through the next one. Picking up 1, coming out of this one, straight through the next one and up into that one above as well. So through that one and that one. Okay, and then you pull that nice and tight. This is what you should have. Okay, this time we're going to pick up groups of 2, picking up 2 white, coming out of this one, skipping over 1 and going through that next one on the corner. Picking up 2, skipping over 1 and going through the next one. And picking up the last 2 of the round, coming out of this one here, skipping over 1, going through the next one, like that. Pull that nice and tight, and now you're going to move up through the first bead above. So we're coming out of this one, moving up through the one above. Make sure everything's pulled nice and tight, your tail thread as well, keep that pulled tight. Now we're going to pick up 2, and we're coming out of this one, you're going to go straight down through the next bead, like that. Pull that through, make sure those beads stack nicely, like that on the top, and then from here, you're coming out of this bead, you're going to move across and back up through these 2 to the right, like that. So you have this. Now you're going to pick up 2 again. Coming out of this bead here, you're going to go down through the one next to it, like that. Okay, pull that through and again make sure they stack nicely. So we have this. And now we're coming out of this one. I'm going to move across and up through these top 2 on this side of the column. Oops. Like that. Pull it nice and tight, and then you should have this. Now we're going to pick up 1 single bead this time, and coming out of the top of this side here, you're going to go down through all 3 of these beads on the other side, like that. Okay, pull that through, so that bead just sits on the top. So now you're coming out of here, going to move through the next 2 beads. Okay, so now you're coming out here in the middle of one of those groups of 2 and you're going to do the same thing again. So pick up 2, coming out of this one and going straight down through the next one. Oops. and then you're going to go up through those two to the right, and then pick up two. Coming out of this one on the top, you're going to go down through the one on the other side. Make sure they stack nicely. And from this one, you're going across and up through the top two on this column. Pull that tight, and now add your single bead on the top by coming out of this one and going down through all three on the other side. Okay, now we need to move around to do the same thing for the final petal. So we're coming out of here, this bead here, going to move through the next two again like we did last time. Now you're here, you're going to add another petal in the same way you did here. So then you should have this, and you should be coming out of these bottom three of this side of this petal. Now what you're going to do is pick up one white and moving around to the next petal, so you've got 3 rows in your petal and then the single bead on the top. So you need to find the bottom row, and coming out of this one you're going to move around and go up through the 3 of the next petal, like that, skipping that bead underneath. Like that. As you go, you can kind of start to curve your petals upwards now, so that they start to have a bit of a curve. And now from here you're going to skip that one on the end and go down through these 3 on the other side. Just pull that tight so that thread pops underneath that bead on the end. And then we're going to do the same thing again, so picking up one, skipping over that one underneath, and now going up through the 3 beads on this side of the next petal. Skip over the one on the end and go down through the 3 on the other side. And picking up one more white bead, and same thing again, so we're coming out of these 3, you're going to skip the one underneath and you're going to go up through the 3 beads of the next petal. Once you've done that, pull everything really tight and fold your petals in. So right now you have this. So from here you're going to move across through the bead on the top, down through the 3 on the side, and into that bead that we just added in between. Oops. Okay. So I'm coming out of that bead that's in between. I'm going to pick up 9 of my white beads, and I'm going to go into that bead in between the next. So I'm coming round and into that bead this direction that sits between the 2 petals. So we have this, and then picking up 9 again, and we're coming out of the middle bead here. We're going to go over and through that middle bead in between the next 2. And same again, picking up 9, and coming out of this one here, you're going to go over and through that one in the middle. So if you just pull this petal away a little bit so you can see which is the bead that you need to go through, is the one at the base. So go through that and then pull everything really tight, and again curve your petals inwards. Okay, so right now we have this. Okay, so you should be coming out of the middle bead over here. Now what you're going to do is from here you're going to go up through 4 of these beads on this outer loop that we just added in the previous row. So go up through the first 4. Pull that nice and tight. And then through the bead on the end of your petal here in the middle, through that single bead that's on the end. Like that, and then skipping that one, so this is the 4th one that you were coming out of, skipping the next one and going down through the next 4 beads on the other side. Like that. And then from there, skipping that one underneath that they're both connected to and going straight into the next bead and through those 4. So from this 4 here, straight through the first 4 of the next petal. And now connecting it to that bead on the end, skipping that one and going down through the next 4 of the petal. Pulling that nice and tight, and now same thing again. So we're coming out of these 4 here, you're going to skip that one in the middle and go straight through the next 4 on the petal. And then you're going to go through that one on the end. Again, skipping the next one on that outer loop and going down through the last 4. And then just so that it's connected in the same way to all the others, you're going to skip that next one and go up through the first 4 of the next loop. Like that, pull it really tight and sort of curve your petals in again. Okay, so from here we're going to move through the next one and up through the next 4. And from here we're going to go down through the next bead, just through the next one, like that, and then back up through the one level opposite that we were just coming out of, so the first bead in that loop of the next petal. So you're going to go up through that one, so we have a little link between those 2 beads. Okay, now we're moving back across, down through that bead again, but also through the next 3 as well. And then skipping that one on the end and going up through the 4 on the other side. make sure that bead pops in the middle so that that comes to a nice point, like that. And now we're coming out of this bead at the end of this loop. We want to go through the bead at the end of the loop over here. So coming out of the top of this one, you're going to go down through this bead, back up through this one. So like we did on that last loop, down through that one, back up through that one where you started. And then through the 4 here, through the 4, keep it pulled nice and tight, skipping that one on the end and going up through the other 4. Okay, and then joining from this one through this one and back up this one like we did on all the other sides. And then down through the 4, skipping the one on the end and up through the 4 on the other side. Now you need to pull everything really tight. And you should have this. Now you need to move your needle up to this centre where we started. So we're coming out up here. You're going to move through that bead that goes across above the bead you're coming out of. And then you're going to go up and into that bead above. So you're coming out of this one, you're going to go through that one above, like that, and into the one diagonally above that now. So this is where we started. This is the original little triangle of beads on the top, and your tail thread should be coming out there as well. So you're going to pick up one green coming out of this one. So these are the 3 beads, 1, 2, 3. Coming out of this one, we're going to go through that next bead in that original triangle. Picking up a green and going through the next one, and picking up a green and going through the next one and up into the first green that we added. Pull that nice and tight, and now go through all 3 of those green ones to join them together. Oops. And I'm going to do that a couple of times so that they stay nice and tight. Okay, so you should have this. Poke your needle from here straight through that hole in the middle. So you're coming out underneath like that. Then you're going to pick up one green and one white. Slide those down. And then you're going to go skipping the white one. So ignoring the white one, go straight back through the green one and back through that hole in the middle. So you're coming out this side. Pull that through, make sure it tightens all the way down into the centre. So now you have this. And then from here you're going to pick up 22 of your green beads and slide those down. So you have this, and then you're going to go back through all of them except 3. So leave these 3 at this end, go back through all the others. So leaving 1 bead to the side so that you've got something to stop them all falling back off. So leave this bead and go back through all of these except for those last 3. Pull that through, and if it separates like this, hold on to that final bead between your thumb and your finger and pull it down, and that should close the gap. And then from here, it's really important, so you're coming out of this one, you're going to go through this 3rd bead of these 3 that are left, but through the bottom up to the top. It's really important that you don't go through this way, you need to go up through that bead. That's what creates this stem sitting how it does, so that the snowdrop dangles like that. It's hard to show you like this because you can't really see the angle, but yeah, dangles like that. And then from there, you're just going to pick up your jump ring, go back down through that bead, and then back through all of these beads on the stalk, through the one on the end, and now back up through all the beads back up to the top. You have to do it in 2 sections. And then back up through that bead where your jump ring is attached to, through the jump ring again, and this time you're going to go back down through that bead, but through the 2 on the other side, not the stalk, back down towards the flower. Now you're going to go into one of these green beads on the flower, and you can tie your knots. So just do that by taking a needle underneath the threads that you can see, so the threads that are connecting this bead to the next one. Put your needle under those threads, pull it through until you have a loop, and go through that loop twice from bottom to top. Pull it really tight, always move away, far away from your knot before you cut it. And then you want to thread your needle onto your tail thread, do the same thing, and we'll be finished. So that's our finished snowdrops. I hope you've enjoyed this and you're able to make one of these, or maybe in a different colour if it inspires you to make a different kind of flower in a similar style. Like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to see more of my videos. You can comment down below any other ideas for videos that you'd like to see, and follow me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah. Thanks for watching, see you next time, bye!